Hey everyone, Skoggle here. We're doing a Elise Jungle game. So this game has the other enemy jungle is Elise. You don't see a lot of direct action between them, but Elise does. Both teams have 2v1 lanes, and both junglers try to help their one laner. You don't see the reverse tower dives, and both junglers take the enemy's red. So that's about where we're at right now. They're both trying to help out where they can, and they've both countered the Reds. This is team games. This is not a solo queue. I think it's just ranked fives. So that's where we're at, and we're gonna see a gank onto bottom lane from the 2v1 side, and that Q misses. Had the Q hit, it would have been a 2-for-1 trade. Irelia, I think, thought she would get out. Maybe it could have been a 2-for-0 because the damage might have been a lot less significant. They might have been able to kill Varus before he does the damage. But anyhow, it happens. It was a good idea because even with the Q missing, they still went 1-for-1. And had the Q hit, it could have been 1-0 or 2-1. It would have been okay. So anyhow, they get what they get out of that, and Irelia does actually do a lot better in Rumble, and Irelia keeps up with Varus even though it's a 2v1 lane, so really they do a great job in this game. So as you can see, and Sona gets the kill, not Varus, so that's also good. A lot better for your team when the AD carry does not get the kill. Kind of forced their hand the way they aggressively jumped on them. They didn't let them set up the kill the way they wanted to. They forced the issue, making them have to use abilities and do what they have to do instead of what they want to do. So Lee Sin's going to do his jungle camp. He's going to come put some pressure on mid. With someone like Lee Sin, you have the ability to jump onto enemies or enemy creeps and jump onto friends and friendly creeps. So here he's going to go for that last thing, and Morgana picks up that kill. It's good for you when your carries get the kills too. Lee Sin doesn't scale as hard as Morgana does, so that's a very good thing for your team. He's going to get the pressure down onto the tower. You get quite a bit of damage done. Very good gank there. If you're landing your Qs, your ganks are going to be very successful. Not only is it a lot of damage, but you have the option to wait and follow up and close the gap when you want to. You can wait for them to flash or use a gap closer. In that case, Vladimir pools, tries to get away, then you can go in. So, 77 armor, Wriggle's done, and then 3 points in Q, 1 W, 1 E, and he is going to solo dragon with Smite up. Those are the factors I want you to consider before you try doing a level 5 Lee Sin Dragon. 77 armor, 3Q, 1W, 1E, Wriggles. Solo Dragon at 5. And that was a really sneaky play because it wasn't warded, and the team didn't collapse around it, so they saw the mid laner in mid, they saw Irelia bottom, and there's 2 people top, so they weren't even thinking Dragon was getting done. Very clever play. Just make sure that you're good enough on Lee Sin to solo Dragon to do that. Otherwise, you're just going to get executed and look like an idiot. But if you practice that up, you can do it. Just make sure you've got your Wriggles and you're ready to do it. So he heals off minions because he has the Wriggles and he's Lee Sin. And he sees Irelia could use a little bit of help here, so he comes in and covers lane. Irelia, I think, comes back because Varus is very low. So always make sure you're helping where it's needed. They're doing such a great job stomping top. The only thing you could really do top is do the 3-man dives, and that's not necessarily their goal. So they just push it out to the tower and base so they can buy and then come back. That's going to give Irelia enough time to not miss much as she shops. And if she's shopping, she's doing a pretty good job. Yeah, she's right up there with Varus. Even in the 2v1 lane, she's doing just fine. So that dragon, that free dragon that Lee Sin soloed is really helping his team right now. Stuff like that can really make a big difference in games, especially if you can get that dragon cleared, and then they're going to get get a tower down, and that's with the free dragon and mid tower gone, they have quite a bit of map presence, and that is basically doing your job as a jungler. If you can get the dragon down as a very early dragon, so the next dragon you'll at least be able to contest, and your team has some decent advantages because you have taken dragon, so you can see the map presence. They can chase him off wolves because dragon's down, or they have the dragon advantage, so that's a little bit of a buff to the team. And they have mid down, so they have their own advantage. The enemy wraiths and the enemy wolves and the enemy blue and red are not necessarily uncontestable now like they were before. They're very contestable. And so the bind through the wall, and then the Q over the wall, and the ult are definitely enough to get that started. Irelia's going to go clean house while Lee Sin does the right thing and chases off the AD carry. The AD carry can't just tank while he does damage. He needs to be doing damage while his team protects him. That Morgana bind is going to be enough to let Lee Sin land his Q, clear tower hate, and then his Q has such range he can take only one tower hit and close the gap, finish it off. That's kind of what Lee Sin does. If you understand the champion, you'll be able to pull stuff like that. The important thing was he went all around the backside of the tower, cleared tower hate so the second hit didn't do the extra damage, and then he went around Q'd to not take many tower hits and does what he does. So the big thing that really helped was he helped his 2v1 laner stay really up in the lane to not get way behind. The other thing he does was he sneaks and steals a dragon for free very early in the game, and he doesn't require his team's help to do it. He requires his team to be guarding the lanes and make sure that they knew where they were, but that's what he did. Anyhow, hope you learned something. Good luck.